Let's start with cell membrane, or you can also call cell membrane as the plasma membrane. Well, the cell membrane or the plasma membrane is the term given to what? The membranous covering of the protoplast. What is this protoplast? Protoplast is the living material that actually makes your cell. So, the membranous covering of the protoplast, it is termed as plasma membrane or cell membrane. Now, the cell membrane was originally discovered by Schwann in 1838. Well, these membranous covering are there which cover the cytoplasm of the cell or which cover the organelles. Like for the nucleus, we have a nuclear membrane, right? Mitochondria also has a membrane. And there are folds of the membrane in some organelles. So, these membranous coverings, they don't form only the covering of the entire cell or the cytoplasm of the cell, but they also actually cover the organelles. So, collectively these membranes which are there inside the cell covering the organelles or covering the cytoplasm of the cell, we term these membranes as what? We term these membranes as biomembranes, right? Now, what is the nature of these biomembranes? They are quasi-fluid, means they are semi-fluid, which allows actually the movement of the solute or the water molecules inside and outside the cell. So, they are quasi-fluid. Then they are elastic and the thickness is around 75 angstrom. It is what? It is 75 angstrom. And 1 angstrom is equal to 10 raised to power minus 10 meters. 1 angstrom is equal to 10 raised to power minus 10 meter. So, you can make out that the thickness is quite less. So, when you want to see the structure of plasma membrane under an ordinary or you can say light microscope, you won't be able to see the structure. You need a very high resolving power, you can say electron microscope, right, for looking at the structure of this plasma membrane or you can say the cell membrane. Then the most important term for cell membrane or the plasma membrane is what? That it is selectively permeable. This word selectively permeable means that it allows only a selected solutes to go inside and outside the cell. So, very few solute particles that are selected by the membrane, they can enter inside the cell, and very few which are selected by the membrane, they can go outside the cell. So, this regulation of the entry of the solute molecules is what it is? It is because of this cell membrane or the plasma membrane. Why? Because the plasma membrane is what? It is a selectively permeable membrane, because it allows only, you can say, selected molecules to go in and out of the cell. Then it is dynamic, right? The biomembranes, they are what? They are dynamic. Now, what is the appearance? Well, as I told you that if you see the structure of the cell membrane under an ordinary microscope or a light microscope, you won't be able to see it. Why so? Because it has a very low resolving power. You need a very high resolving power electron microscope to actually see the structure of plasma membrane or the cell membrane. And how does it appear? It appears as trilaminar. So, here you can see how you can actually have a view of the plasma membrane or the cell membrane under an electron microscope. So, you can see that this is not a single layer. The plasma membrane is what? It is not a single layer, it is trilaminar, means there are 3 layers. So, I have another image for you. As you can see, this also shows that the plasma membrane has what? 3 layers. It is trilaminar. Now, how are these 3 layers? Just look here. Means there is one electron dense region, that is the outer one, and then again we have an electron dense region, that is the inner one. And between this electron dense regions, the outer electron dense region and the inner electron dense region, we have a transparent layer. So, this actually forms the cell membrane or the plasma membrane, that is the trilaminar structure. So, this is the view from an electron microscope, which actually shows that how there are electron dense regions. We have an outer electron dense layer and we have an inner electron dense layer, and in the middle we have what? We have a transparent layer. So, this proves that cell membrane or a plasma membrane, it is not just a single membranous structure, it is actually what? It is trilaminar. So you can see here the outer electron dense layer, the darker one, and the inner electron dense layer, right? And in between these two layers we have a transparent layer. So this is what? This is trilaminar. Now let's talk about the composition of cell membrane or the plasma membrane. We have lipids, proteins, carbohydrates and water. So two major components of the plasma membrane are the phospholipids and the proteins, right? So remember, we have two major components of the plasma membrane, that is the phospholipids and the proteins. They are very important. Why they are so, we will discuss. So in lipids we have the phosphoglycerides or the phospholipids. What do we have? We have phosphoglycerides or phospholipids. And when we talk about proteins, these proteins can be fibrous or globular, or they can be structural proteins. And we also have receptor proteins. We also have receptor proteins that actually act as enzymes. Okay. So we'll discuss that. Then we have carbohydrates. We have branched or unbranched oligosaccharides. An example for this oligosaccharides is hexose. Alright. So you can make out that the composition of plasma membrane is what? We have lipids, proteins, carbohydrates and water. And I told you two major components are the phospholipids and the proteins, right? They are what? They are the phospholipids and the proteins. Under lipids we have what? These only, that is phosphoglycerides or phospholipids. And under proteins we have fibrous or globular or structural proteins, and some proteins they act as receptors also, right? Then we have carbohydrates. They may be branched or unbranched oligosaccharides, for example hexoses. Now here we have a term that is emphatic or amphipathic. We'll see what does this means. Now first of all, just look here. You can see the phospholipid bilayer. Well, when you talk about the cell, inside the cell we have what? We have water. Outside the cell we have what? We again have water. So we have aqueous environment, you can say, that outside the cell also and inside the cell also. And this aqueous environment, it is just separated, the outside one and the inside one, because of this membrane that we have discussed, that name is plasma membrane or the cell membrane. Now as I told you that it is trilaminar. So you can see this phospholipid bilayer, how this is actually arranged. So I'll just make a phospholipid structure so you can remember. Well, when we talk about the phospholipid structure, what is there? We have a polar head. We have what? We have this polar head, right? And with this we have these fatty acid chains. We have what? We have fatty acid chains. And now this is what? This is non-polar tail. So this is how we represent one phospholipid molecule. How we represent it? We have one polar head. Now this polar head is actually what? It is hydrophilic. Hydrophilic means it is water loving. So I'll also write it over here that this polar head is what? It is hydrophilic in nature, means it is water loving. And this tail, which is actually what? These are the fatty acid tails, right? So these are what? These are non-polar tails and they are actually hydrophobic, means they hate water. They don't dissolve in water. And this arrangement is in the form of a bilayer, means we will be having the arrangement of molecules in a bilayer fashion, like means, for example, here also we'll have this structure, that is what? A polar head which is hydrophilic in nature, and a non-polar tail which is composed of the fatty acid molecules, right? So this is how a bilayer structure is there. we have a phospholipid bilayer structure. Remember how you are going to draw the structure of one phospholipid molecule. We have a polar head which is hydrophilic, means water loving. So that is why, as you can make out, it is towards water. So you can say, when we talk about the external aqueous environment, then these polar heads, they are facing water, and we talk about the internal aqueous environment, these polar heads are again what? They are actually facing water. So as I told you that these tails are non-polar, they are what? They are hydrophobic. So since they are actually hydrophobic, so what is going to happen? They are going to face each other. When you actually put one drop of oil in water, you know that it is not going to dissolve. When you put another drop of oil in water, what is going to happen? You will see that these two drops are actually going to combine. So what is going to happen over here also? These tails, they are going to actually, combine like this. So this happens, right? Why this happens? Because you know the property that like dissolves like. So this polar head, it is going to be towards water. Why? Because water is a polar molecule, it is going to dissolve, it is actually making it hydrophilic. So it is water loving part, and this is water hating part, these tails. So they are going to stay away from water. So this is how this bilayer, the phospholipid bilayer, is actually arranged, right? So this membrane is actually what? It is actually separating the external aqueous environment with the internal aqueous environment by just arranging these molecules, these phospholipid molecules, right? And here you can see this TEM image of, you can say, how this membrane is like there, right? So next we have, you can say, the diagram that I have drawn, you can see the phospholipid molecule, we have a hydrophilic head and hydrophobic tail. Now when you look here, you can actually make out that this is a bilayer, plasma membrane is what? It is a phospholipid bilayer, and this is the hydrophobic region, and here we have the hydrophilic region. So I hope that now this is clear to you what is amphipathic or amphipathic. Now what is this amphipathic or amphipathic? This means that we have these phospholipids which have polar part also and they have a non-polar part also, means they have a hydrophilic part also and they have what? They have a hydrophobic part also. So they behave differently. So that is why the lipids, the phospholipids, they are what? Amphipathic, or you can say amphipathic in nature. So their amphipathic nature is why? Because of the presence of this polar head and these fatty acid chains you can see which actually are non-polar, that is they are hydrophobic. So this feature actually makes these phospholipids as amphipathic molecules or amphipathic molecules, right? So I hope that till now the basics are clear to you. Now we will discuss the models of the plasma membrane, and the most important model of plasma membrane, that is the fluid mosaic model, that is going to make the structure of plasma membrane very clear to you. So let's proceed further and let's discuss the models which are there for plasma membranes.